Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something that's, a huge challenge for pretty much any organization: securing your procurement and payment processes. We're going to look at how shifting from risky manual work to smart automation can build some real resilience, turning what's often a major vulnerability into a key strength. So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you know, really know, where the weak points are in your payment process? And it's a really important question to ask yourself, because honestly, the biggest risks are usually hiding in plain sight, buried in those everyday manual tasks we all do. And that really brings us to the heart of the problem: manual processes. For so many companies, it's just the way it's always been done. But that way is just riddled with hidden weak spots. So let's break down exactly where they are. I bet this looks painfully familiar to anyone who's ever worked in finance. You know what I'm talking about: those never-ending email chains just to get an approval, and a constant flood of documents like PDFs. When you don't have a solid, consistent way to validate things, you get this: chaos. And that chaos, it's the perfect breeding ground for mistakes and even fraud. And that chaos, it's not just messy, it leads to some very real, very costly risks. Think about it: paying the same bill twice, letting an unauthorized vendor into your system, sending money to the wrong bank account, or maybe even a fraudulent one. And of course, there are employees who just accidentally violate company policies. Every single one of those is a major potential hit, both financially and for your operations. Okay, so here's the bottom line. When your whole process is built on these shaky manual steps, you're constantly playing defense. It becomes almost impossible to spot fraudulent activity or even just a simple error before the money's gone. By then, the damage is already done. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could actually get ahead of the problem? That's exactly where automation comes into play. Let's take a look at how an automated system can build a proactive defense, one that's designed to stop fraud before it even has a chance to happen. What we're talking about here is a total shift in thinking. See, a manual process is all about reacting. You're always putting out fires after they've started. But an automated system, it's proactive. It's built from the ground up to identify and flag problems before they can do any harm. It's a complete game changer. So how does it do it? Well, for one, it works 24/7. Automation doesn't get tired, it doesn't get distracted, it's constantly running checks in real time against the rules you've set for every single transaction, spotting anything that looks off the second it appears. And we're not talking about some generic, basic checks here. No, this is about super specific, really powerful validations. The system can spot a duplicate invoice in a split second by checking that invoice number against every other invoice you've ever paid. It'll throw up a red flag if a vendor's bank details suddenly change out of the blue, detect if pricing is way off from an approved contract, and even validate bank account ownership to make sure the money is going to exactly the right place. All right, so stopping fraud is huge, but it's really only half the story. The other side of the coin, and it's just as important, is making sure you're compliant. Let's dive into how automation basically becomes your tireless, ultimate rule enforcer. So what exactly is compliance monitoring in this context? Well, to put it simply, it's about making sure every transaction, and I mean every transaction, perfectly follows your own company's internal rules, goes through the right approval chains, and meets all those external regulations, no exceptions. Just think of an automated system as a super vigilant gatekeeper. It's going to automatically flag anything that tries to bend or break the rules, like say an expense that's over the limit, or someone trying to skip a necessary approval step, or even just using the wrong accounting codes. And here's the kicker: every single thing that happens gets recorded. From the second someone touches a vendor file to the moment a payment gets final approval, it's all locked into a permanent, unchangeable audit log. This creates a crystal clear digital trail that anyone can review. There's literally nowhere to hide. Okay, so what's the big picture here? What does all this add up to? Well, when you put that proactive fraud detection together with systematic compliance, you get a completely new reality for your finance teams. It's one that's secure, totally transparent, and just incredibly resilient. This quote from the source material we're looking at just nails it. The whole point of automation isn't just to patch a few holes. It's a complete operational upgrade. You're fundamentally strengthening your controls to make sure everything is accurate, transparent, and completely compliant.
And what you end up with is this amazing virtuous cycle of benefits. When you reduce risk, you get stronger controls. And with stronger controls, you can guarantee compliance. That guaranteed compliance leads to more transparency and ultimately way more accurate financial data. Each one just makes the others stronger.
All right, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last thing to think about. We've seen just how powerful automation is, right? It can sniff out all these risks hidden in our data and our workflows. But if the system can see every single digital threat as it happens, what's left? What can't it protect us from? It's a really interesting question to chew on. Thanks so much for tuning in.